Amazon also says it is looking for a stable and business-friendly environment and tax structure, including incentives to offset its initial capital outlay and ongoing operational costs. It goes on to suggest some possible sweeteners: free land and site preparation, tax credits, relocation grants, workforce grants, utility incentives and fee reductions. The initial cost and ongoing cost of doing business are critical decision drivers, the request states. The company boasts that its current headquarters has been a catalyst for development in downtown Seattle, and estimates that its investments in the city between 2010 and 2016 added an additional $38 billion to the city's economy. Seattle has become Amazon's town. The company now employs about 40,000 workers in the city, its largest employer, according to the Seattle Times. It has as much office space as the city's next 40 biggest employers. The benefits of having Amazon's headquarters there prompted the city council to write a letter last week urging the giant company to reconsider locating its second headquarters elsewhere. "We want you to stay with us and grow with us," the letter said. But Good Jobs First says that in trying to lure and retain employers, many cities and states give away more than they get back. The group's analysis of 386 deals worth at least $50 million since 1976 found that the average cost per job created was $658,427, far more than cities and states could expect to get back from income taxes, sales taxes, property taxes or other revenue. At such an astronomical cost level, taxpayer risks are not simply elevated, taxpayer losses are guaranteed, the report concluded. Bartik of the W.E. Upjohn Institute for Employment Research, who wrote a recent paper on tax incentives. Bartik's work was funded in part by the Pew Charitable Trusts, which also funds Stateline, agreed that a lot of the incentive packages would pass the benefit cost test. The positive aspect is you are creating jobs, so to the extent you drive up the employment-population ratio, you're adding to earnings and put upward pressure on salaries, Bartik said. The negative aspect is that these incentives aren't free. There's no fairy godmother paying for them. The budget costs of the incentives exceed the fiscal benefit. In recent years, some states have taken steps to rein in the incentives they offer, but even they have been unable to resist the lure of Amazon HQ2. Louisiana, for example, provided 6 of the 15 most expensive subsidy deals in terms of cost per job, according to the Good Jobs First study. Until 2016, Louisiana officials could offer incentives to companies without including performance standards or job growth targets. Property tax and other abatements were costing local governments, which have no say over the deals, more than $7 billion over 5 years. Last year, Democratic Gov. John Bel Edwards issued an executive order with new requirements governing incentives for manufacturing plants. Now tax abatement deals have to include job creation goals, and companies generally can't get them for adding new equipment. They have to create new manufacturing plants. Local governments also must sign off on the deal. Nevertheless, New Orleans is expected to make a bid for Amazon HQ2. Because the governor's executive order applies only to manufacturing plants, it wouldn't have a bearing at all on Amazon headquarters, said Gary Perilloux, spokesperson for the Louisiana Economic Development Agency. Don Pearson, Secretary of Louisiana Economic Development, said the state likes to compete. A strong incentive package helps us do that. Pearson noted that one possible incentive the state might offer Amazon is a 6% rebate on some payroll expenses, but he emphasized that Amazon would have to meet job creation milestones to get it. "I guess we see this in sports all the time," he said. A player gets a contract which gives a bonus if he makes the playoffs and other qualifiers. In the Good Jobs First study, Michigan had 34 megadeals, deals worth $50 million or more, the most of any state, followed by New York with 33. Michigan's Republican Gov. Rick Snyder abolished the state's main credit program, the Michigan Economic Growth Credit, in 2011, arguing that it was too expensive. Snyder and the legislature replaced that old credit system with a lower corporate income tax, with no broad-based credits, and required each proposal for a tax abatement to be evaluated individually and to be funded by an individual state grant, according to David Zinn, chief economist for the Michigan Senate Fiscal Agency. In July, Snyder also signed a package of bills that included possible rebates of the state income tax paid by employees as an incentive if prospective employers meet certain criteria. Spokesperson Anna Heaton said Snyder still believes in credits as one tool that can be used responsibly to diversify the state's economy and draw new investment. The lower business taxes will be a help too, she said. Detroit submitted its bid for Amazon HQ2 Thursday.